Rundown. We know what the rundown is. We know what the rundown is. All right, everybody, welcome to Extra Bases. And Jeremy wanted to know what the rundown was for today. Jeremy, you know what the rundown is. Anyone who follows Jeremy on Twitter knows that this is now the greatest gift he has ever been given, because every single tweet, every single story, whether it's sports related or not, Jeremy busts out three little words that have become a big deal in his life.
Man, I can't stop smiling. I can't stop laughing. And you know why? It's because the secret to life has been bestowed upon me, and I feel so much better. And this is what it is. And you might want to buckle up because there's layers to this stuff, right? I mean, it's so deep. I don't know what to do. It's hit strikes hard. That's it. That's what it is. It is hit strikes hard. That's how you do it. You have to feel it. You got to really, I want to hear you say it, Jason. I want to hear the fans say it. I want to hear everybody. Hit strikes hard.
Hit strikes hard.
Hit strikes hard. That's right. Congratulations, you're still my broadcast partner. I love
I do have to say something, though. Apparently, this has been a Yankees organizational philosophy for some time, based on some articles that I found, even dating back to 2019. Hit strikes hard. That's the Yankees' offensive philosophy, according to manager Aaron Boone. So are we giving someone undue credit for this phrase?
Now just help me understand. When you say giving someone undue credit for this phrase, are we talking about like everyone? You know, because I'm curious, because like my dad, I love my dad. You know, first person introduced me to the game was Aaron. And you know, my dad, I remember being 2-3 years old and getting a bat in the backyard. He used to underhand pitch. He goes, "Son, listen, here's what you want to do. If it's a strike, you want to swing and hit it hard. What you don't want to do is swing at a pitch that's not a strike. That would be a goal for you to accomplish at 2 years old." Okay. So if we're going to take this all the way back, man, 40 plus years ago, Aaron Booth just destroyed the game. Like, he just dropped it on the planet. And like, you know, it's not Aaron Boone, it's Aaron Booth that came up with that. It goes back to, you know, Southern California, Westchester in the backyard, Aaron Booth saying, hit strikes hard, son. Hit strikes hard. And if I broke it down, man, I've watched this thing a million times, you know, and I want to kind of bring this up, Jason, because, you know, the layperson, the average everyday guy may not understand what this means. You know, the best layer about it, and it was like this, it was like, and I'm paraphrasing, it was like, so is there something, you know, maybe behind hit strikes hard? Yeah, I can't wait to tell you, you know, we peel that layer back, and when the ball's over the plate, we want to swing. And when we swing for balls that are strikes, we feel like you might have a chance to make better contact. And when you hit the better contact, you might hit the ball harder. And this, Jason, stay with me. This is where it really gets deep. Like, everybody at home, you got to sit down, you got to pay attention. If you can, you want to hit the ball over the infielders, if it's possible. Sometimes over the outfielders, maybe every now and then it might go over the fence. That would be a goal of ours at 3 years old. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I hope it goes a lot deeper than that, because, you know, this is Major League Baseball. And like, if you don't have respect for the New York Yankees as an organization, like you aren't in and what they stand for and what that NY means. Like, if you don't, it doesn't matter what team you're with. It doesn't matter if you're a players association, if you're Major League Baseball, it doesn't matter if you're a tennis player, hockey. It's the New York Yankees. Okay. It's the New York Yankees. And you got to understand that's what that is. And that's what they're rolling out. And I got concerns right now. Okay. You know, but I look it back and I take it back to the guy's history, and I'm not going to say I'm overly surprised. I am really surprised Like, this guy's a major league hitting coach. Like, I can see this guy walking into the clubhouse and pumping people up. Let's go, hit strikes hard. Let's go, hit. But like, this is what big league hitters gonna look at you and go, now I've got it figured out. Now I know. Thank you so much. Where have you been all my career? I wish somebody ever told me to swing at strikes because I got a better chance of hitting those balls hard. So look, it's a lot of fun for me. It's about a decade worth of material. You may or may not hear that on post games and pre games and podcasts. Hey, I'm already thinking about the branding, like hashtag hit strikes hard. I'm thinking about like my own sitcom where it's called Hit Strikes Hard. Like, there's a lot of different ways this could go.
One day you had me cracking up because literally every tweet you made or posted, whether it was baseball related or not, you have found some way to put in hit strikes hard. I mean, it really was clever stuff, Jeremy.
Thank you. Thank you. When they drop something that deep on you, it's just, you got to run with it.
Here's Tennessee bill proposes relocating migrants to Biden's and Jen Psaki? I forgot her name. Anyways, the hometowns. If it doesn't propose to hit strikes hard, I'm not here for it.
Oh, it's having some fun. Hey, look, again, it was an eye opener for me. I was today years old when I learned how to hit strikes hard. There's a million different things that come with it. Listen, good luck to the New York Yankees as they chase a World Series.
A picture of the great Josh Gibson. Josh, hit strikes hard. Thank me later.
Yeah. No, it was, look,
but,
good luck.
Since you've been involved in the TV game for a while now, we tend to, or how about this? In the entertainment field, it's all about making things simple and catchy. So what is wrong with a guy basically boiling down his philosophy into hit strikes hard? Like, what is wrong with that?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with a basic 6-year-old, as an ex-big leaguer said to me today, 4th grade level mentality of hit strikes hard. The reality is that at that level, it isn't that simple. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in rookie ball. At that level, you have guys that can pitch. Even in today's era of lesser command, you still have guys that can put the ball where they want to a little bit. You have swing paths that are not overly adjustable anymore many times. You have guys who are sitting there swinging as hard as they can at pitches that may look like strikes, which is a big part of pitching. It's making it look like a strike, and it's not. And if you're just thinking about swinging as hard as you can to hit strikes hard, okay, then what happens is that brain gets geared up and it's velocity oriented and we're speeding everything up, and then we swing and miss and we chase. Now, strikeouts are a real thing in today's game, and they're a real problem. Now, that said, what about zone hitting? In A-ball, they talk about zone hitting, not just a strike, looking at balls in certain spots. What about setting your tempo to what a guy does well, a guy that throws everything hard? Maybe it's a strike, maybe it's not, but at least you can see the ball. What about using your skill set, tools and skills, using your skill set to play the game in a way that helps you win baseball games? And that doesn't always mean a simple mindset of hitting strikes hard. Big league hitters, every single one, can feel their body. They've had a lot of at-bats. Professional guys in the minors, same thing. They can feel their body. They understand it. Sometimes the best hitting coaches don't say a whole lot. And sometimes the best hitting coaches pull you aside. Best coaches in general. Let me take the hitting out of that. Coaches in general. And they can boil it down to the basics. And other times they can advance thinking about what it's like to be in that box, or what it's like to be on the mound, and how you're going to go about it with 50,000 Yankee fans screaming at you every 5 seconds. And if you have never experienced what that's like, and furthermore, don't get the concept of how to go ahead and, let's say it's a guy like, let's say it's a guy like Brett Gardner, right? He's not going to be the same guy as Aaron Judge. So why are we going to give them the same philosophy? That's not what that should be. Brett Gardner's a guy that could probably defend the zone a little bit, or should. He should be able to create some runs with his legs. That's called, and give me a second. Let me just check my notes to see what that's called. Judge on the other side, he's an ambush guy, swing and miss, mistake guy. That's what he does. I just want to double check. That's called, still called baseball. That's what that's called. And so when a guy is able to use his feet and use his skills with 2 strikes or with no strikes, when he's not swinging at everything, and not all strikes to hit are good strikes, but you have to experience that to understand it, even if it's watching it, even if it's getting it. One of the biggest misnomers out there professionally is that you have to have played professional baseball at any level or the big league level to understand how to think with that level. And that's not the case. There are some of the best executives and best managers never played an inning. The reality is they understood how the flow of the game was. They went with it. This concept doesn't work because it's a very, very, very youth level oriented concept. So it's basic. And at the basic levels of 4, 5, 6, 11, 16 years old, sure, but not at the big leagues. And to have this guy, if that's all he's got to offer, that's a miss. And the problem is, again, you go back to the Yankees and you got to have, it's the New York Yankees. Act accordingly, right? You're the New York Yankees. Act accordingly. Reggie Jackson works for the Astros. Now let's go over the list of teams in your mind you think Reggie Jackson would ever be a part of. And tell me when the Astros show up. Okay? So good for Jim Crane and good for Reggie's a wealth of knowledge. I'm privileged to get to spend the time with him that I do when I get to see him. You always get better being around him. And you mean to tell me the New York Act accordingly 27 World Championship Yankees had Reggie Jackson's an Astro and that guy's the hitting coach? What in the blue blank are we doing? I don't understand. So look, I'm glad, and then I'm gonna keep. Do you mind? Because then I look down the system, and I listen to people who have quote studied under this guy. What a concept! And now it's like that's the credibility you're supposed to have. Hit strikes hard. I'm gonna say this to Dillon Lawson directly because I listen. We get seen. We get seen. People you don't think see and hear us. I was on a conversation earlier. They see Zoom earlier. They see and hear us. And it's not personal to the Yankees because Cashman's an exec that's been really good for a long time. And Aaron Boone, man, how could you not respect that guy? And what they've done as an organization year in and year out, it's the Yankees. It's the Yankees. Dillon, you're gonna have to bring something else to the table besides hit strikes hard, my man. I mean, you're gonna have Aaron Judge looking at you like, bruh, what? I mean, you're gonna lose them quick. And so while those 17-year-old kids that transition in and just want to have fun because they're out in pro ball and are nervous or swinging as hard as they can, because that's how you can connect to them. Maybe that's even how we hit a reset sometimes, is forgetting mechanics and going to it and losing your approach. When you've got guys that are playing in front of fans that actually boo. And I've been to Yankee Stadium with you, and I'm quite certain they boo. Okay. So you're gonna have to, you have to find a little deeper way to connect these guys in an at-bat by at-bat situation.
Jeremy, I cannot keep a straight face when I'm going through your Twitter feed. Like, there's a picture of Joe DiMaggio up to bat at Sportsman Park during his 56-game hitting streak, 1941. What does Jeremy write on top of it? I can hear the guy in the first row. Would have had 57 if you hit strikes hard, slacker. Roger Maris hitting his 61st home run of the 61 season. 61? That's it? Clearly nobody ever said hit strikes hard.
Oh, man. I look,
Ben Verlander, I miss baseball so much. You don't miss if you just hit strikes hard. Can't be done.
Yeah. I don't know. I have in all seriousness, I know we've entered into a different wave. We
Coach
talk about
Bill Parcells, a Hall of Famer. A coach would have thrown you to the wolves if he didn't think you had some wolf in you. He would throw you to the wolves if you didn't say 3 times real fast, hit strikes hard.
Oh boy. Oh boy. It's been a fun week. It's been a fun week.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm saying this, and I, we get a lot of this on Twitter from a certain group of studied in baseball in general. Forget Twitter. In baseball in general, certain group of people who have studied under a certain, and I say under loosely, sect of the game. And if you disagree with this group, or understand there's a lot more to it than what they say, such as forcing fastballs and breaking balls. And I mean, look, if you look at the effectiveness of the game and you disagree from experience or even just from knowledge, or man, even a lot of fans should have enough, have a lot of sense who've never done this to get it. If you disagree, they say you're an old man yelling at clouds, right? We're yelling at clouds. Listen, I'm quite certain I'm pretty young. I'm a young man. And the guy that we're talking about with Hit Strikes Hard is less than a decade younger than me. So while we're sitting here talking about old men yelling at clouds, we're in the same generation and age bracket. Let's clean this up a little bit. There's called sense, and then there's called nonsense. Okay. And one of these groups of people has sense. And this other group of these people has offended feelings about having no sense. Okay. So bringing this back to Central, great concept, revolutionary, changed my life. I can tell you, I've had one of the best, exciting, hilarious weeks that I've ever had. And the merchandise, I'm going to trademark it. How about that? I'm going to trademark it just to get it. And I'll tell you what, I got a new business venture going. I'll give you a call. We'll do some things together with some digital space, man. And we'll hit strikes hard all the way through. Congratulations.
It's very interesting to read the New York Post article on the hiring of Dillon Lawson. It says, before joining the Yankees, he was a college coach at Southeast Missouri State in Missouri. He also took a detour into the Astros organization where he coached Carlos Correa in the minors. I thought his first year was 2016 in the Astros organization. Now, doesn't mean that Correa may have had a like an injury rehab stint, but it says whether that connection plays in the role in the Yankees' pursuit of the free agent shortstop remains to be seen.
You know how you get Carlos Correa?
Yeah, I know. Not with Dillon Lawson, with a lot of dead presidents and a big bank.
That and a sign that says Jeter sucks. That's how you get Carlos Correa. You're better than Jeter. That's it. That's how you. I'm kidding. Don't get sensitive. That's how you get Carlos Correa. Dillon Lawson was a coach in 2016 under the Lou Now-led, and you know what a fan I am of that Lou Now-led organization, the way they ran things. In 2016, I believe was there in 2018, I want to say, and took 2017 at the University of Missouri, from what I saw. Maybe not Southeast Missouri, University of Missouri, and then so he left the Astros organization, went back to college baseball, and then came back to the Astros organization the next year. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, in 16, he was in Tri-City in the New York Penn League. Correa didn't play there. In
Absolutely.
17, he went to Missouri. In 18, he was with the Quad City River Bandits, and Correa wasn't there that year either.
He didn't play for Missouri either, so I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know where they're getting that from, unless during
spring training.
But that wouldn't count.
Listen, I see that all the time in this world that I'm in. Hey, we wore a uniform in the same place at the same time for 45 seconds. I coached him all the time. And I think that's kind of what Dillon Lawson may have said. I'm not going to put that on him. Let's put that on somebody doing some research. I mean, it's kind of hard to list that in your bio.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at his minor league stuff right now. He spent he spent 6 games with Round Rock in 19. He spent 5 games in 18 with Corpus, a couple of games with Fresno and Corpus. So yeah, I again, the last time he set foot in Quad Cities, Iowa was 2013 when he was 18 years old.
Got it. You know what? We got to strike that from the bio and strike it hard.
Well, I'm not saying this is from his bio. I'm saying this is written in the New York Post.
Yeah, that's their bio on him. I'm not going to pin that on Dillon Lawson. I mean, that's
I'm not. No, I think it was.
coaches don't.
Who's the
Coaches don't.
writer? Who's the writer here?
Is it Ben Ryder? Because we know he's had some struggles.
Come on now, Dan Martin. I don't know.
Come on, it was too easy. Set him up, knock him down. We knew Alex Bregman was going to be there at second pick of the draft 4 years prior. No, you didn't. No.
Well, I will say this. Unfortunately, Christmas is past, so I can't get you this Dillon Lawson autographed 2018 Midwest League baseball card. $5.99 or best offer on eBay. Now, in Dillon's defense, his cards might go for a little more than yours.
I can't even argue that. He has a slogan that if he's smart, he's going to market, and that's going to be, I'm helping you. I am helping you make a name for yourself with speaking tour. Hey, Dillon, what's the secret to life and secret to youth? Hit strikes hard. I think it works for so many levels.
Of course, on eBay, you have your let me rephrase that. On eBay, someone has posted, not like you're hawking your own baseball cards.
Right.
Your 2007 Sussex Skyhawks card with Pedro Sierra.
Yeah.
And Brian, what is it, Draymond, who pitched for, I think, in the White Sox organization.
White Sox. Yep, big leagues.
Big leagues, too. Look at you. Look at little Jeremy.
How much is that? 75 cents?
No, someone has them listed for $12.99, but buy it now.
12 bucks. We have $12.99 to $5.99.
Yeah, but he got his own card. You're on but you have your own cards too. I know.
I do.
Yeah. I think we should talk about I think we should bring out an old scouting report because I've got an interesting one.
You want to talk about the lockout at all?
No, because I don't think there's anything to talk about. I think right now you've got one group that is I think trying to come up with some solutions, and you've got another one that just wants to call in a federal mediator. I think for PR reasons.
And let's move on. That sums it up pretty well. Ding, ding, ding. There's not a whole lot to add to that. You need a federal mediator. Do the people in Washington have a good track record of working things out? I must have missed that. I think we have a situation in DC where those guys can't get their stuff together. And you want them to come help you? Okay, listen, politics aside, we need to get to your spring training is less than 2 weeks away. The chances of that happening are about, negative 14% right now. We need to get back to the table and get back to baseball because this is what's sad. All right. With the amount of things that have gone on with the baseball, with the analytics part of this stuff that's gone so far one way or the other, with the disconnection to the fan in many ways, with the devalue of the player, you no longer have the millionaires versus billionaires argument. The rule changes, the robo umps, the bigger bases, things that fans can tangibly feel and things they can understand. You now have lost, if you're Major League Baseball, you've lost fan support. You've lost it across the board. You now have people pulling for the players. So the only people that come out here as negative, in a negative light, aren't the players here. It's Major League Baseball, and they had to call in the federal government to help them negotiate a deal. Really, that's going to be interesting to watch. And
I have no interest in talking about the Space Cowboys because I think it's a ridiculous name, and I'm sorry to anyone with the Astros who is listening to this that it just reeks of trying too hard. The great thing about minor league baseball is when you come up with a winning brand, you stick with it. You don't see the Toledo Mud Hens changing their name. You don't see the Rochester Red Wings changing their name.
Ever.
I imagine they're trying to potentially distance themselves from being an independent league team. I imagine that's in some part of it, but more so it's certainly about making money and trying to sell stuff. But man, there are companies out there who handle this stuff, who do these brandings. Go to them. They just.
Well,
Space Cowboys is Awful.
Garbage. The St. Paul Saints is still the St. Paul Saints.
Somerset Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have a good brand or you're not going to these markets. And I will tell you that, the Space Cow, I mean, the jokes that can come with this, the Steve Miller Band. I mean, how many times do you think they're going to play that song?
I don't know, but I can just tell you this, that out of every one or two people that like it, it seems like 7 or 8 just are like, this is bad.
Terrible.
And there's one thing, I may not know a lot of things about stuff in life, Jeremy, but there's one thing that I do know, and that's minor league baseball.
Yes, you do. You're an encyclopedia, literally walking
Well,
around.
I was at one time, maybe not as much anymore. But
I have
anyway.
stood next to you in major league stadiums and randomly listened to see a guy across the park and go, that guy played an A ball back in 1999 and he did this and hit. I've seen it, and I'm just looking at you like, and you. I mean, it's all you got. It's all right there. It's impressive to watch. Do not take away from the ability. That is a talent.
Yeah. All right. Time now for our flashback into Jeremy's old scouting reports. We're going into 2012 for this one. A 3-starter in a major league role, a full 4-pitch mix with command of all of his weapons, durable frame with some strength projection left, with select in the sandwich round. And it was very interesting. Your scouting report, within it, your comp is Ken Forsch.
I know who this guy is. Don't say it. Don't say it. I know who this guy is. Who was this guy? I don't know who this guy is. Who is it? Who is it?
I will give you a school. Makeup, mound presence, leader, winner, composed, low burn. That's an interesting. What do you mean by that? Low burn.
The moment's never too big for him. Slow tempo, slows the game down. Methodical. Just doesn't get rattled.
Missouri State University.
Pierce Johnson.
Yeah, very interesting guy because he went overseas,
Japan, Korea,
came back, and has been pretty darn good.
Yeah, I remember him. He was a pretty good pick. Cubs took him.
Yes.
Cubs took him. Yeah, he was good. He was good, man. He was good. We didn't take him.
First round, 43rd overall.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved every bit of that pick. I'm glad he's having success. He still had some upside. He was just one of those kids who didn't get bothered by anything. And at that time, man, it's a decade ago, which goes fast. He had a lot of things he could do with the ball, a lot of things that you wanted to see out of a guy that could be a starter. Now, it didn't end up that way right away. I believe he's starting in San Diego, right? Back in rotation?
No, he's more of a
bullpen?
No, he's a bullpen guy.
Yeah, okay. So they probably shortened his look.
But he did start 2 games in 2021, so you may have just been looking those days.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably whiffed on what he's doing right now, but I can tell you that sometimes you find a short in the window and the stuff plays a little bit different. The reality is he had a lot of things to work with. He's the upside of a 3-starter and ends up in the bullpen, and he's a valuable piece of the staff. Funny thing about that, last weekend I was able to see my old scouting director Tom McNamara, and I was in Florida watching at a tournament we had some coverage on. There's 150 scouts there. Mac is special assistant to the GM with Kansas City. It was good to see him. It was good to kind of talk over some stuff. And he said some things to me. I know he listens to this and he sees it. And I want to say that, Mac, you said a lot of things and it was good to see you. There's a lot of stuff there that I appreciate you saying. And it was good to be able to talk about some of the old days and times in the car and on planes and draft rooms. And I'm glad you're having some success with Kansas City.
Did Devitt Moore come up into the conversation?
I need to keep the contents of that conversation between he and I.
Okay.
What I can say is it was good to be able to connect with him again, and kind of go over things that happen as time goes by. The reality is there's 49 big leaguers drafted while we were in Seattle. Okay. That's a lot of big leaguers. The first, second, and third round, he would tell you we needed to do over a little bit. And we can't, but there was, not everybody, but, some first and second round, especially, that there was probably some other ways he could have gone. He might have had some suggestions that he wished he had listened to, and that's part of it. But the reality is that he's doing good. He's in a good spot with a scout first organization, and it was good to see him.
And that's good. And considering you're a washed up ex-scout, I think you've done okay for yourself as well.
Yeah, it was. I sure hate my life, Jason. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, there were no mentions of Muppets in this episode, but there were a lot of hit strikes hard.
It strikes hard. I'm telling you.
So how long will this be material for you? Like, do you think you'll lose interest in this
I think
on Twitter?
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to, on my deathbed, whenever that is, they're going to say, hey, we'll try to make you comfortable. And I want to go to hospice care, hospice care, make comfortable. You okay? Everybody's going to be surrounded by people. I think the last words I'm ever going to say are, it strikes hard. And that's it. That's going to be it. And we'll shut it down right there. So yeah, another 40, 50 years of this.
Beep, 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 beep,
That's it.
beep, beep,
That's it.
then
That's
you
it.
flatline.
That's it. 100% how it's going to go. And I'm going to love every minute of my life for every day that I spend, because I finally learned how to hit strikes hard.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on another Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth. Finally, we got on the air because, we got to go with Jeremy's schedule. But anyhow, everybody.
Good to see you, man.
All righty. Till next time, everybody. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll talk to you next time.